All right, so for the sake of time, I'm going to kick us off. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. This is the exciting culmination of 3.5 months of the Peace, Education, and Action for Impact project. My name is Greta Zaro, and I'm the organizing director with World Beyond War. I'm joining you today from New York State in the US, but I've been so lucky to work with a number of teams around the world for this project. And so today's program is really about celebrating these projects. We're going to hear from every country project team to learn about what they've been working on for the past 3.5 months. And we're also going to hear from some other speakers about kind of the context and origins of this program at large. So a few reminders, tech reminders and logistics. We are recording today's meeting and we will share the recording afterwards. We also have closed captioning on today. So if you want to use that feature, you can click the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen to view the captions. If you don't want to view captions, you can also disable it there. Because we have a large number of speakers today, everyone does have the power to unmute themselves and also to screen share if you need to screen share during your presentations. So given that you do have those powers, please be aware to mute yourself when you're not talking. And lastly, today I'll be the timekeeper, keeping track of the agenda throughout, and I have a small bell to use to let you know if you're going over time in your presentation. So this is the agenda for today. First, we'll hear some opening words and presentations from the global team to give context about the program. And then we'll have an orientation to describe, what were the peace projects and kind of the criteria for the projects. And then we'll go into hearing the presentations from each country project team. We'll have a few musical breaks along the way to give us a chance to stretch since this is a long Zoom meeting today. And then we'll conclude with some more speakers to talk about perspectives from the global team and hearing from different perspectives from mentors, coordinators, youth members, etc. And then at the very end, we'll have 30 minutes of optional networking time if you want to stay on and chat. And now I will turn it over to Phil Gittins, who is World Beyond War's Education Director, who will talk about the history and context of this program.
Thanks, Greta. You can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So as Greta said, it's lovely to see some familiar faces. Thank you to you all for all the great work. And I was asked to give a bit of a broader perspective on where the thinking behind this project came from and this program. So as Greta said, you've all been doing great work for the last 3.5 months. However, there's a broader history to this project, one that goes back a year, and we need to thank many of our partners, including Rotary, for that. But it actually goes back a lot further. When we were thinking through this project, it was looking around at what some of the good things that are happening in the peace and conflict world or the peace education world, as well as some of the great work being done within the peace and security movement more broadly. And this really informed a lot of the thinking about what the model of the Peace Education and Action for Impact program looks like. So if we start on the left-hand side, we know that the biggest threat or biggest challenge to peace is what we see as, the war system. So we wanted to address that in some ways. If you look at how much we're spending each year on the economic cost of violence, according to IEP, the Institute for Economics and Peace, it's 14 trillion. 2 trillion is spent on the war system, and there's other research and evidence that suggests we're now at a 30-year high in terms of violence. Well, if you put that into perspective, there's no viable approach to promoting peace and challenging war that doesn't take into account the role of young people. However, we often look at young people as projects done to them or done about them, where part of the thinking behind what we wanted to do was support young people, provide them with the tools, the networks that they do projects themselves. One way of involving young people in these kind of peace and conflict study programs and projects is education. But when you look at education more broadly, there's often a divide between thinking, being, and doing, what we call the head, the heart, the hands. So we wanted to really provide what we see as a comprehensive approach to peace education that supports the whole development, the whole way of being of the peace builder. I know Annie is going to talk specifically about that. Also, when you look at the peace building field, there's often a connect between the thinkers and the doers, between the study and the practice. So what we wanted to do in the Peace Education and Action for Impact program was to combine the both, to provide opportunities for young people to put into practice what they're learning and go out into the community and put projects together and that address real community needs. And Tiana is going to be talking about that a little bit later also. So that's some of the broader thinking about what we set out to do. Next slide, Greta. This is our starting goal. This is what we've been thinking about, and this is hopefully the idea moving forward, is that the program is developed, designed, co-created to connect and support new generations of peace builders. And we talk about this idea of subjects of change and agents of change. What I mean by that, subject is change, is that young people have the ability to turn the mirror inwards and look at themselves and be the change, as Gandhi said, be the change they want to see in the world. So we have to start with ourselves. By agents of change, we mean actually going out there and doing something about it in their communities, in their neighborhoods, in their local context. So both subjects of change and agents of change. Next slide. Really what we want to say here is welcome to the movement. This is, from our knowledge, the first of its kind project within the peace education field, within the youth peace and security field, that brings all these youth and communities together. Think about it, 12 country partners we've got involved, over 160 registrants that are working through this process, 30 partner organizations, culminating in 12 peace projects, which are addressing global challenges such as peace, conflict, war, etc., but their local manifestations, and the projects are context specific, what we're going to see. So welcome to the movement. Next slide. Of course, we can't do any of this without saying a massive thank you. Thank you to all the colleagues at World Beyond War. Thank you, and we're going to hear from Rotary representatives throughout the day, particularly to the Rotary Action Group for Peace. Thank you to the global team, which is made up of Rotary Action Group for Peace, Rotarians, and World Beyond War. And thank you to the country project teams that are really the secret sauce here. You're doing the wonderful work on the ground. Each country project team is made up of a culmination of an intergenerational collaboration, coordinators, mentors that work in collaboration with young people. And the projects are specifically designed, and Tiana's going to say something about this, to be youth-led, adult-supported, and community engaged. And again, a big thank you to, as we know, part of the program split into part one and part two. Part one, we had wonderful facilitators that facilitated that part. So a massive thank you to them. Next slide, please. Here's a quick reminder of the journey that we've been on together. So as we know, the 3.5 months is split up into two parts. Part one is really what we call the head, the head, the heart, the hands, the kind of the peace education part of the program. And this was designed to equip participants and other people going through the program with the necessary knowledge, concepts, ideas, tools, etc., that they need to go out in the world and design, implement peace projects. And then part two was what you've been working on over the last 8 weeks, the challenge of designing, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating and communicating peace projects. And that's what we're so excited to be learning about today. So there's just a few words in terms of, you know, the process, the program process that we've been through. Next slide. So having hopefully given a bit of a broader context now, Greta's going to introduce each of the speakers who are going to give some thank yous and some words on behalf of World Beyond War and Rotary Action for Peace, and also a little bit about part one of the program. Over to you, Greta.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Phil. So yes, we'll have our next round of speakers. First, we'll start with David Swanson, who is a co-founder and the current executive director of World Beyond War. And David will speak from the perspective of sharing kind of the larger context of why anti-war and pro-peace work is so important. Then we'll hear from Alison Sutherland, who is the director and the past chair of the Rotary Action Group for Peace, who has been working really hand in hand with Phil on this entire project. And then we'll hear from Aniela Caracedo from the Venezuela team, who will talk from the perspective of being a youth member of one of the teams going through both parts, but specifically she'll talk about part 1, which was the online course of the project. So I'll come off screen share and we'll start with you, David. David, you can unmute.
Can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, you're muted again. There you go.
What do I have to do to stay unmuted?
We hear you.
Okay, hopefully it's going to stay unmuted. If you can hear me, I'm David Swanson, and thank you very, very much to Greta, Zaro, and to Phil, and to Rachel, and to everyone. I've been hearing wonderful things about this from for a long time. I'm sorry that I haven't been as much a part of it as everyone else, and I'm very much looking forward to even if I don't have time to stay on the whole call today, to seeing and reading and watching videos about what you all have done, and having a wonderful section of our website, I hope, where we can share everything that you all have done with the world and with potential future participants in similar courses. And I hope I will be getting to know all of you, and that all of you will be sticking around, hanging around World Beyond War, engaging with us on the work of ending all war until all war is ended. You know, we're at a moment here where some big wars have finally, hopefully, come to an end, where bombings by the worst offender on earth, the United States government, not too far away from me here, have been reduced significantly. But weapon sales up, base building up, the threat of war up, the potential of nuclear war up, and so we're in a good moment for what World Beyond War was created to do, that is to go after the entire institution of war. And while the war industry is growing, World Beyond War, with 1 million miles to go to catch up to it, is growing more quickly, is growing surprisingly quickly in terms of people participating, board members, including a member of the Youth Network and the Global Board in Ani, who's on this call, in staff, in chapters, in affiliates, in allies. We're growing. We gave our first annual award for war abolition work this year to a group that prevented the construction of a military base in Montenegro. We're trying to work on similar efforts around the world and encourage and strengthen those. And we created World Beyond War to be something that went after the whole institution of war with education and with activism, and was global, wasn't based in a country, wasn't based in a region or a part of the world. And part of that being global was from the start to be diverse in every possible way. And we're making a lot of progress in all of those regards. You know, I went to, I don't know how many million real world pre-pandemic peace movement events, mostly in the United States, for decades, and you couldn't go to a single one without somebody showing up, looking around, raising their hand and saying, why is everybody old and white and middle class? And we had online events where somebody would show up and say that for a long time, and I haven't heard it for a while. And I used to, you know, go to jail protesting wars with people who would turn to me and say, oh, well, we just bombed such and such a place. I've been hearing the word "we" used in events like this one to mean we, community of global activists working to end war, rather than using "we" to mean the Pentagon or some other military. So this is part of the educational process we're working on. And I think with Phil's leadership, we've really got it down. We've got the books, we've got the courses, we've got the ability to move minds. We just have to reach more of them. And with Greta and Rachel and others, we've got the activism, we just need to keep expanding, creating, doing more of it. Greta's working on a little video of the top 10 victories and accomplishments of the past year for World Beyond War, and we're having trouble getting it down to 10. And I wish I had time to go through 15 or 20 of them with you, but Greta's about to ring a bell that says my 5 minutes are up. So I hope to talk with you all more. Contact me anytime at david@worldbeyondwar.org, and thanks for everything you're doing.
Great, thank you so much, David. So now we will hear from Alison Sutherland of the Rotary Action Group for Peace. Alison, you can now unmute.
Thanks, Greta. Thank you. Well, I can't believe that this is actually the culmination of something that Phil and I began talking about a couple of years ago in Geneva. And I sort of tagged on the end on his coattails because I was supposed to present a project. And I thought, I can't present a project. I prefer this one. So I thought, well, let's promote this one. And since that time, we've been meeting, we've been talking about it. And I suppose as I was thinking about it this morning, I never envisaged that it would be as good as it is. I know that's a silly thing to say because all projects are good, but that goodness is made up by all of the participants on here, what you've done, what you're doing, and also the weekly chats, etc., that we've had, the connections. And for me in the RAG, this is a first, because whereas Dave has just eloquently put about World Beyond War, equally the Rotarian Action Group for Peace, action being the major word, is an organization which is falls under Rotary, but it's autonomous, and it brings together Rotarians from around the globe who are interested in peace and want to be involved in peace and want to do something. Well, to date, all of our efforts have been concerned around positive peace, and we're not saying that negative is unimportant, but for many Rotarians, they're interested in what's on their doorstep. How can they do peace within their communities? How can they promote peace with their projects? And particularly with our 7 areas of focus, there's a peace element in all of them. So this was a pilot, and it was a new thing. And we're absolutely delighted and privileged to be part of this, and feeling a little, I feel a little, I don't know. I hope I've pulled my weight, but the majority of the work has been done, well, all the work's been done by Phil, etc. But hopefully I've been a good cheerleader. And that's what I think we need. So we don't need blockers, we need cheerleaders, we need both. In fact, going forward, we hope that this won't be the end for you, that we'll have many opportunities of linking with you again. For those of you who are not part of Rotary or not part of the Rotary Action Group for Peace, you know, you don't have to be a Rotarian to be a member of the Action Group. It just means you don't take office. But then again, who wants to take office when you can do so amazing things without all that worry and all that paperwork? So if you have an interest in that. And for the younger ones, we've got Rotaractors for Peace, and they're just mobilizing, and Annie and Tiana and others on this call are part of that. Tuğçe from Turkey. I can't see all the others, but we're just coming up with a strategy for next year of what you want to do, how you want to do peace, and how we can facilitate that. And we also now, Rotaractors have the same status as Rotarians. Now, that's not as easy said as it's done, because we need to remind Rotarians of that fact. But you're going to have access to grants, etc., in due course in connection with your clubs. So there's amazing things you can do. So one of the things mooted is maybe a Rotaract project fair. Well, imagine that we've got 12 projects already, haven't we, coming out of here. I hope as well to feature some more of this in the newsletter, and I was busily doing that this morning and putting in stuff about Colombia and the Accords project in USA, but that's only 2, and that leaves 10 more. So I'll be in touch with you for details for that, because I want you to be included. And I want the newsletter to at least have a section in it which relates to our youth and young people. And because it's important, we want to see what you're doing, because you're the inspiration for the rest. Now, as for me, I'm nearly past my sell-by date, but nonetheless, I'm still here. and I'm inspired by all of you. So all I can say at this point, because Phil's going to talk about the future, and there's all sorts of possibilities for the future. So I want to thank every one of you, everyone. Now, we couldn't thank you by name, because if we did that, we'd look like the Oscars. And I want to thank my hairdresser, and then there's my dog and my next door neighbor. And we thought we'd miss somebody out. So hence the generic thank you. But a huge thank you to all of you, but a big thank you from me to Phil Gittings and World Beyond War. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alison. So now we'll hear from Annie talking about reflections on part 1 of the project, the online course. And Annie is both a global member of the World Beyond War board, a founding member of the World Beyond War Youth Network, a member of the Venezuela team, and a member of Rotary Action Group for Peace. So Annie, you can now unmute.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. The aim of my tasks is to share some reflections of learning the experience from part of the program. First, I want to thank everybody who made this a possibility for all of us. Once, as Alison said, if I say thank you to each one of y'all, we're going to stay here forever. But I believe I speak on behalf of the participants when I say that this was an extraordinary experience. The first 6 weeks of the program dedicated to peace education allow us to explore ideas and concepts that we perhaps didn't know before and reflect and challenge actually the preconceived knowledge. These ideas and concepts are helpful in contributing our journey as being and becoming peace builders. Many of us don't have access to this information and have few chances to participate in initiatives like this. I want to especially emphasize in Venezuela, Cameroon, and South Sudan. Despite the condition in our countries, and including the power outages, which are typical obstacles in our participation in initiatives like this, the program was accessible and user-friendly because it was asynchronous, and excuse my English. Anyways, we could access the material anywhere, wherever we want it, however we want it. And the content was outstanding. I mean, we had access to university level resources and materials that were accessible in simple words. And the concept was informative from people with a PhD to people like me that had just finished my high school education. And the approach of the education, which relies on the head, the heart, and the hands, drew my attention from the first time I learned about this program. Different from usual education initiatives, the program made us reflect on what we know, who we are, and how we do things. Not just to read about the concepts and all this knowledge, but actually reflect and learn from the optional assignments in the modules. Our team, Venezuela, decided to take advantage of the content and identify a way we could dig deeper in reflections. So we started a podcast series where we discuss each of the modules and talk about our opinions, our feelings, and our realizations about each one of them. Module 3, the peaceful ways of being with self, was the one that impacted me the most. I think this module helped me reflect on who we are, who I am, and what's my role as a peace builder. Anyways, moving forward, I am ready to tackle my next challenge as a peace builder, leading a project related to youth and music in my hometown in Venezuela. I'll use the knowledge I gained from the Peace Education and Action for Impact program and spreading it with everyone in Valencia, Venezuela. So thank you, everybody, and thank you so much for doing this.
Great, thank you so much, Annie. So now we will come back to Phil. Let me screen share again. And Phil will give us a little bit of an orientation to the projects in terms of kind of the background and the criteria that teams were following as they embarked on their peace projects. Phil, go ahead.
Thank you, Greta, and I will try my best to follow the speakers before me. What a great job, and so inspirational to listen to you all, and thank you all for your collaboration. Could we go on to the next slide, please? I think what I would like to do is yeah, as Greta said, give some kind of context in terms of what really is probably the bigger, broader payoff of this, the whole Peace Education Action for Impact program is the projects that are done in the community. But just before saying some words about that and trying to orientate ourselves for the wonderful presentations that are due to come, it's worth us stopping for a moment and thinking about, well, how has been the Peace Project experience for us? So if hopefully you can put it in the chat there, Greta or Rachel. Oh, thank you, Rachel. If you could just take a couple of moments just to think about what words describe your Peace Project experience. We've put in the chat there where you can click on it and go on to Mentimeter and fill it out. We'd love to hear from you just to get us thinking about your Peace Project experience, and then what Greta can do is share in real time some of the results that are coming through. Deep, transformative, fascinating, collaborative, exciting, challenging, inspiring, humbling. Perfect. And if you're having issues with doing anything on the Mentimeter, you can write in chat as well. What else have we got? Any other ones coming through? Inspiring. Oh, some are writing in the chat as well. Oh, collaborative. Okay, language of peace, eye-opening, challenging, teamwork, humbling. Okay, brilliant. I think that's enough just to get us thinking about the peace projects. And please, if you haven't done already, you can write in the chat, knowledge, experience, connecting, I'm seeing in the chat here. Thank you so much. Yes, brilliant, thank you. Okay, so let's say out loud some of the ways in which we think about a peace project, and you would have covered this in modules 5 and 6 in some detail, so I'll just go through this very, very quickly, focusing on breaking it down. What is a project? So a project is something that has a specific outcomes, defined start and end dates, and specific resources needed to achieve those particular outcomes. I won't read the other part on Peace Project. I think I'll focus on, because this is what we're really interested in, and Jackie's going to talk about this later in her general reflections on the Peace Projects, the 3 golden rules that we in the Peace Education and Action for Impact program think of as kind of stellar standout peace projects. One is that we're interested in how the project is done with the community, not about them or for them. So how do you show that you're doing this project in collaboration? How have you worked with the community to design the project and address their needs that they've stated? The second one is the project is youth-led, but it's adult supported and community engaged. And then the third one is, how is the project addressing one of the 3 broad strategies for ending war and establishing a just and sustainable peace, which is outlined. David spoke about it in our book, the AGSS, the global security system. So demilitarizing security is one, managing conflict without violence is another, and creating a culture of peace. So we're really interested in hearing about this as you present your peace projects. Next slide, please. You've received guidance in terms of how to go about doing your projects, and we're really excited to watch them, because what we said, for those of you that might not know, we said that you can't use PowerPoint presentations. We did that to foster innovation and creativity, and based on experience, it works. We've done it before, so it works. Within the 5 minutes, we're really interested in you addressing what's the problem. So why does the project exist? What's the problem that you want to address? Therefore, what is the purpose of your project that addresses the particular problem? Thirdly, the process. What's the process through which you used to address the problem and achieve your purpose? And then the fourth one is what we call proliferation. So how does your project go about engaging more people and more key people to try and widen the sphere of influence of your project, which takes it beyond Rotary Action Group Peace, beyond World Beyond War, beyond your country project team, to engage in other businesses, organizations, NGOs, etc. in your community. So there's something about the four Ps. And remember to be smart. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic timescale, which you would have obviously seen in modules 5 and 6 of the program as well. So hopefully that gives a little bit of context and an orientation, and contextualizes hopefully what we're going to hear now in terms of the Peace Project. So we're wishing you all the best, and so excited to watch what you're going to present. Over to you, Greta.
All right, so without further ado, let's get to the presentations from the country project teams. This is the order for the first round of presentations. We'll have Canada, then Nigeria, then Colombia, then Serbia, and then Cameroon. So I will come off screen share, and you all are welcome to screen share or do whatever you need to do to present your projects. So Canada, go ahead.
Hello, I am Joey. I'm 14 and I'm from Collingwood, which is about 100 kilometers away from Toronto. I'm also involved in a few local service clubs. The rest of our Canadian group includes 19-year-old Sam, who is studying political science in Ottawa, 20-year-old Abby, who is studying journalism in Toronto, 14-year-old Tessa Cheek, who is involved in a lot of community work, 16-year-old Tessa McMillan, who is an environmental activist, and 16-year-old Judy and 15-year-old Cedra, who are immigrants from Syria. And now on to Abby.
Hello, everyone. So our group wanted to educate others in our communities about youth homelessness, as it is a more prominent issue in Canada now. So to do this, we thought the best idea was to create an engaging and insightful YouTube video in which we interview people on their knowledge on youth homelessness in the country. We also thought it'd be great to include information on homelessness organizations as well. The thought was to share the video with people of all ages so they can be better educated on this issue, which is arising. So for the 5-minute video, we came up with a few questions, such as what is your knowledge on youth homelessness? Then we compiled those interviews, as well as an interview with an expert, mentions of statistics and homelessness organizations. This video was made by our member, Judy. Now over to Sam.
For some context on our topic, here's a look at the issue of homelessness in Canada. On any given night, there are around 19,500 Canadians experiencing homelessness out of a population of around 38 million. Canada's cold climate makes the issue of homelessness more important here than in warmer countries. Canada's federal and provincial governments play an enormous role in reducing homelessness. However, we found that in many areas, government has rolled back its funding of homelessness programs. One of the main causes of homelessness in Canada is an extreme lack of affordable housing all across the country. The Canadian cities of Vancouver and Toronto are home to some of the most expensive housing markets in the world. In Canada, more than half of homeless people experience homelessness before the age of 25, making youth homelessness a particularly pressing issue. Other factors affecting homelessness in Canada include violence and abuse, mental illness, the cycle of homelessness, bureaucracy and red tape, and health emergencies. We decided to work on a project to increase awareness of youth homelessness within our communities. Now on to Tessa McMillan to go over exactly what we plan to do with our video.
So Tessa couldn't make it, unfortunately, this morning, but I will cover for her right now. So for the distribution of the project, we will be sharing the video in schools and in our 3 communities represented, which are Ottawa, Toronto, and Collingwood. On top of that, we will also do presentations for Rotary clubs in our communities listed before and in community clubs. We hope that this video inspires change and action and is insightful for people so they can learn about youth homelessness in Canada.
Greta, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure if you folks were planning to screen share the video in real time or not, but I guess not. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. And I do look forward to seeing the video. So next, let's hear from the Nigerian team. You can now unmute.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Rohama Ifere. I am from the Nigeria team. And so today I'll be presenting our project work, which is based on strengthening the youth, the security forces, and community actors collaboration. The problem we're trying to solve is to curb the increased rates of kidnapping of school children here in Nigeria. So over the years since 2014, over 1,000 children have.
Oh, you've frozen up. We can't hear you. Try turning off your video sometimes if your internet is unstable. It's still frozen.
Can I? So this is the Nigerian team. This is Winifred Iriyi. Can I ask Stephanie Efebutu, if Ruhama can?
Okay. Okay, I can go next.
Yes, please. Just go for it.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Efebutu, a member of the Nigerian team. So for us, our research problem basically is the increased rate of school kidnapping in Nigeria. So since 2014, with the incidence of this Chibok girls kidnapping, which we thought was a one-time event, we've seen that there've been an increased rate in kidnapping. Since 2014 to date, we've had over 10 cases of school kidnapping, and over 1,000 school children have been kidnapped, both male and female, across the country, which has also resulted in the close down of some schools. So we felt that this is a problem that concerns everyone, and we can't leave it alone for the security forces to handle. So for our project, we thought of ways in which we can strengthen the collaboration among young people, among community actors, and among security forces. So because of the short time we had and the bureaucratic nature of the police in Nigeria, we thought of ways in which we can make this project inclusive and also get perspective on the of the general public on the way forward. What can we do to curb school kidnapping in Nigeria? So what we did in the Nigerian team was to distribute an online survey. So we distributed an online survey to over 100 persons. So at the end of the day, we got responses from 120 respondents. So the questions highlighted in the survey is focused on what do you think are the causes of school kidnapping in Nigeria? What are the impacts of school kidnapping on schools and the Nigerian society in general? And what do you think are the way forward? We needed recommendations on how the government can build trust among young people in the country, how the government can empower security forces to ensure that they are capable enough to deal with issues of school kidnapping, and how can we also build this collaboration. So we got responses from these 128 respondents. So from the responses we get, what we decided to do with it was to produce a policy brief. So this policy brief we produced, we are currently at the design stage of the policy brief, which will be disseminated online. So we plan on distributing the policy brief to both schools, government institutions, and also the general public. We also have access to this policy brief to see that, okay, these are what people think are the causes of school kidnapping. We had results relating to issues of poverty, unemployment, issues of the fact that some persons are funding this terrorist group. So we also had recommendations on the fact that there should be trainings in school. We had different recommendations. So we want to present this policy brief, and we hope that through this policy brief, we'll be able to impact change, and we'll be able to some extent curb and reduce issues of school kidnapping in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you for raising awareness about this important issue in Nigeria with the school kidnappings, and for really dealing with an issue of that gravity. So thank you to your team. Next, let's hear from the Colombian team.
Hello, everyone. Here, Maria Fernanda. I'm coordinator of the Colombian team. As you mentioned, it is important to show what we have done so far in a creative way. So we guys did an interesting video that we would like to show to you. Like, it's more about like from the human part, what we have been doing. And apart from that, we did like a vitacura. It's like a log book that talks about the whole process of our project. So without saying anything else, I'm gonna show you the video, and then at the end, maybe we can discuss a little bit more about the problem, what we were looking for to address. Give me a second, please.
Hello, everyone. I am Diana, mentor of the Colombian Team.
It's quite quiet. Could you raise the volume?
Yes. I think it has all the volume. I'm gonna put it again. You just let me know, okay?
Hello, everyone. I am Diana, mentor of the Colombian Team. Today, we are sharing our insights of this amazing and great, excellent program. And here we are.
I am Maria Fernanda, coordinator of the Colombian Team, and I'm so happy I'm bringing peace to my country through these projects that are changing our context and our world.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mauricio, and from the great insights of this program, I took that everything starts from within and with the understanding of my own feelings.
Hello, I'm Natalia, and I think that in this seamless process, peace can be possible with a network of good but accurate actions with our immediate context, for example, family, friends, and workmates, to make an enduring difference.
Hi, I'm Paulo, and this amazing experience helped me to enrich my path as a peace builder through all the academic approaches of peace we got to study during this journey.
Hi, I'm Valentina, and thanks to this project, the first time I could acknowledge the real meaning of being a peace leader in my community through economic inclusion, culture, and arts.
Hi, I'm Juan David. This amazing experience gave me tranquility of meeting people who cares about peace around the world.
Hello, everyone. I am Vivian from the Colombian Team, and I am so happy and grateful for this amazing opportunity. I am sure we all together can make a better world.
Hello, everyone. I am Juan Esteban from Quimbaya, Quindío. I just want to thank all of you who make possible this program, because thanks of your support, we as a peace builders are empowering other young people to be peace builders too.
Hi there, I'm Blanca, and this program has given me the necessary tools, knowledge, and motivation to keep working on peace in my country and over the world.
Hello, this is Rosie, mentor of the Colombian Team. As
Give me a.
you can see, this project gave us
Oui, je veux dire, en dehors de ça, il faut combien de machines?
Sorry, Maria Fernanda, please unmute yourself.
and Rotary Action Group for Peace. And thanks to all the amazing people who participate in this program.
You want my love, I want your heart, just for a minute, come by and let me feel it, cause you want my love, I want your heart, just for a minute, come by and let me finish on you. You want my love, I want your heart, just for a minute, come by and let me feel it.
So I hope you enjoyed this part of the process that we have been recording through this project. Also, we did a vitacura, a logbook. I would like to just explain a little bit about like what have been all the project about it. Just I don't know how less time do we have to explain it.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing here to share the vitacura. Give me a second, please. It's here. So this is our vitacura, our logbook.
We still see the video.
Okay, sorry. Give me a second.
If you just come off screen share, there we go. Now we see it.
Yep. So this is our vitacura. It's one of the products that we create after the whole project that we realized. What was our problem? As you know, Colombia is passing through like a conflict for more than 50 years. We have the peace agreement. And there is a lot of peace builders nowadays. It has been promoted for the government, for the civil society, and Rotaract is one of those groups that it has been working. But we realize that we as peace builders, we are all spread over around Colombia, but we don't know from each other. So this problem was like, there is many peace builders, but they are not working towards the same objective and aim. So what we did with this project was like put a peace with others, which was one of the models of the program. And then we took mediation, and it was also mediation, and mediation was one of the tools that we took, and active listening to start working with the communities and to communicate between each other, the peace builders, the participants, how was the best way to reach this aim. So here you see in this map where the projects were located. We're in total 9 projects. And this is Colombia. We have these are the locations of each of our programs, our projects. And here we will share this afterwards with World Beyond War. Are the projects that the participants implement. So we have short films. We have also, and this short film was one in Taipei, because one of the participants is a Colombian participant that is right now in Taipei. The other one is in Pasto, in Colombia. We also did Tuluarte por la Paz, which was with victims of the conflict, and they did they address active listening and mediation through the participation in arts of youth population. So to don't extend it too much, we have our product, which is the logbook, where we have the summary of all of our actions around Colombia. And yes, these have been so far what we did. I don't know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to respond it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The video was so well put together, as well as this brochure. I love the aesthetics of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Greta.
Now let's hear from the Serbia team.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're located right now. I will be speaking on behalf of the Serbian team. My name is Diana Ristic, and just bear with me a second. I want to share my screen. Nope. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
Is it going to work? No, it's not. Oh. This is not a PowerPoint and I'm not used to it.
Totally okay.
Please, just a second. Seems like I will have to share every single picture separately. This wasn't my idea.
If you wanted to not put you under pressure here, Diana, we can go to the next one first and then come back to you after. Would that be easier?
I just need a second more. That would be it. Yeah, here it is. So this is our team, and we are actually a team of Rotarians and Rotaractors. So we have 4 Rotarians and as coordinators and mentors, and 10 Rotaractors within our team. So when we started brainstorming our project, we realized that we actually don't have a peace committee within our district, and we have no peace projects within our district. And actually, as most of you know, peace building and conflict prevention is one of Rotary's area of focus. This is why we decided that our target group will be Rotarians and Rotaractors in our district. So I hope this goes well, because our presentation is like a comic. So this would be us as a team. Then we started thinking, where do we start? What do we do? What's happening right now? Next one would be, we have an idea. We need to talk to people. Let's do a survey. So we created an online survey, which we sent to all of the clubs. Actually, we got better response than we expected. And we had 84 people filling our survey. Our first question was, we asked them to tell them what is peace for them in a single word. So these are some of the answers. Then we asked them, what do they think? Do they have impact on peace in their environment, within their community? And as you can see, most of them said yes. I'm sorry, this is taking too long. I have to share every single page separately.
No, it looks great.
We asked them if they have a peace committee within their Rotary or Rotaract club, and those 12 people were from 3 clubs. Actually, from the whole district, only 3 clubs have a peace committee within their club. So that would be 1. Our next question was, did they execute a single peace project in the last 3 years? And as you can see, these answers are not very positive. 75 out of 84 people said no. We asked them, are they familiar with Rotary Action Group for Peace's work? And do they know about Peace Builder Club's concept? And again, most of them said no. And we asked them if they want to know more about Rotary's peace building and conflict prevention area of focus. Most of our team members have been involved with Rotary for a long time, so they know that this is something we don't talk about. It's never a topic in our conferences, workshops, trainings, and so on. So we wanted to address this. Page 10. So we said that we need to share our knowledge, the knowledge we have, the knowledge we gained in this course. We need to look at the bigger picture and make like a long-term plan. So we don't want to do something to have a single presentation or a workshop. We want to work on this at least for the whole next year. So we created like a timeline and the plan, and this is something we will be working the whole next year at least. And I hope we will have an opportunity to do the same survey again, and the numbers of the projects and clubs having peace committees will be a lot higher. And we really like Rotary Action Group for Peace's motto, which is educate, empower, and engage. So our first step was to create a pocket guide about Rotary's involvement with peace. So we shared information about Rotary Action Group for Peace. We shared information about the partnership with Institute of Economics and Peace. We shared about Rotary's Positive Peace Academy. We gave them resources where they can get more information. And these pocket guides are being distributed to every single club within our district. And for the next year, we are planning on having presentation, panel discussions, workshop, and we want to create a newsletter, which is going to be sent to every single club every second month with good news articles, some good examples of peace projects, some opportunities to learn, to share about programs and programs like this one and the other educational programs, peace related, and so on and so on. So we've just started. For now, it's really good. People have been, the reactions were really nice, and I hope we continue in the same manner and be successful. Thank you. I'm sorry this took so long, but I have no idea it would be this difficult to share every single page.
No reason to apologize. I think it was a great presentation. I like the way that you put it together. It really helped us to visualize your project. So thank you,
was the inspiration. We wanted to have something like comics, so I hope we made it.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you. So yeah, let's go to the Cameroon team. We'll have the Cameroon team do a short introduction and then we'll play the video after.
Good afternoon all. I'm Guy Fugab, the country coordinator for Cameroon team. It's a pleasure being here, and it has been a pleasure through all this time working with the youth of Team Cameroon, who worked on the project to include women and youth in peace discussions in Cameroon. All this shown in the video. With your help, Greta, I think you will see the video. Thank you.
Yeah, why was a project needed? The project was needed to include youth and women in peace discussion in Cameroon.
Ce projet visait à mener une recherche dans 4 villes du Cameroun pour aborder la question de l'exclusion des jeunes et des femmes dans la discussion sur la paix et chercher les moyens d'améliorer leur participation significative aux activités de paix. Nous avons produit un rapport pour le plaidoyer auprès des autorités locales, du gouvernement, des organisations de femmes et de jeunes.
Project brought together 10 young people from Cameroon and gave us the opportunity to meet with youth from 12 other countries across the world. The Peace Education Project also brought on board young people from conflict-affected regions of the Northwest and the Southwest region, and also host communities of internally displaced persons, that is the Littoral and the Central region. Thanks to this project, we were able to meet with key peace advocates like Madame Sylvie Jacqueline Domo of Youth Cameroon, who gave us the opportunity to communicate and to talk with the organization. It was indeed an enriching research.
There were 2 methods used to reach both youth and women, which were through the focus group and through the online survey. In total, 75 people participated, with 53 in focus group were chosen from Northwest, Central and the Littoral region of Cameroon.
The 14-week journey was just unprecedented, full of new experiences. Coordinating a team of enthusiastic young women and men from different backgrounds and in a challenging context was unique. The work is very successful.
So, Frank, what are the things that have worked best as mentors?
First of all, it was the disponibility of the youth, because they were always working. We have a traditional meeting, on Mondays, and they were always there by working. They attend the meetings. They were diligent because at the end of any meeting, the coordinator used to provide them tasks, and they were diligent by doing it so that at the next meeting on Monday, everything was done. And the other one was their disponibility to be connected in spite of all the technical problems we face.
I was very impressed with how much they were able to grow in their knowledge of peace education, because many of them had limited experience and limited knowledge, but also they grew as leaders. And I would say especially the young women, because of traditions in Cameroon where women tend to step back and men step forward. But with this kind of a program, asking everyone to step forward and become involved. And at the first several Zoom meetings that we had, the young women were willing to write answers in the chat, but not willing to speak, even when they had a microphone. And we know that sometimes the microphone was a problem, but by the end of the project, we have 5 people working and it was 1 man and 4 young women, 1 young man and 4 young women. So they really stepped up and learned confidence and took responsibility and were willing to grow and in their development, which was a pleasure to see.
With this project, women and youth are more than ever part of the solution for peace in Cameroon. Thank you, Greta. That was a video of the work done by the Cameroon team. Thank you. We'll share the report very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guy and the Cameroon team. I got to work a little bit with the Cameroon team, and I'm just so impressed by everything that came together in spite of the challenges in terms of internet and active violent conflict that's happening in the region. And the fact that despite all that, you all could come together to hold these focus groups is quite inspiring. So that concludes our first round of presentations. We are now going to have a musical interlude and a 10-minute break, so you can walk away from your computer and stretch in if you need to. So I would like to welcome to the stage Tuğçe Tunalilar from the Turkey team, who will be singing Heal the World, followed by We Are the World. So Tuğçe, I hope that you are able to unmute and sing live, and we also have the recording if needed.
Yeah, well, actually, hi everyone. This is Tuğçe from the Turkey team. I will be singing live. Just let me set up the setup really quickly, and then I'll start. Can everyone hear the music?
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything. Okay. One sec. I'm wondering if I need to share. I'm gonna try to share the music.
Yep, it says you're sharing sound, so it should work.
Hopefully. Can everyone hear the music?
Yep, just turn it down a little.
Okay. How about right now?
Still pretty loud.
Okay. Right now?
Doesn't sound any different to me.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me see. I'll do it over here. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's a little bit lower. lower. It could even go a little lower, but.
How about now?
Yep, that's much better. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna turn it on my computer now. Can everyone hear?
Yep.
Okay, great. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is well. This place could be much brighter than tomorrow. If you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. This place you feel there's no heart of sorrow. There are ways to get there. Care enough to live and make a little space. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, care enough to live, make a better place for you and me. I want to know why there's a love that cannot lie. There's no joy in there. You try, shall see, in this bliss we cannot feel. We try to stop existing and start living. And it feels that over, there's enough for us going to make a better world. Make a better world, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough, let them make a better place for you and for me. And the tree and will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling life? This earth is divided so famously, so this heavenly. Let's go, we can fly so high, but our spirits never die. Then you're all my brother. The world will be together, we'll cry happy tears. Then they have swords into plowshares. We could really get there. Care enough to live there. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place. You and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. You care enough and make a better place for you and for me. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. You care enough to live and make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
better place. Make a better place. Make a better place. Make a better place. Make a better place. Could everybody hear that?
Yes, thank you. We're all clapping along silently on Zoom.
Great, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice voice. Nice voice again. Well done.
I think we have 8 minutes left. I can switch to the other song, the We Are the World.
Yes, you're welcome to. Please.
2022 yeni yıl kararları.
There comes a time when we hear a certain call. Let's come together as one. There are people dying. It's time for life. The greatest gift of all. We can go on. Day by day, somewhere we'll make a change. We're all a part of God's big family. Love is something we are the one. We are the truth. We are the one. Make a better day, so let's start it. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. Better days. Send them your heart, so they know that someone cares. The light will be strong and free. As God has shown us, God turning stone to bread and stone. Lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones making it better. So let's start again. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's okay. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's joy in the
Thank you so much, Tuche.
Thank you for listening.
So we just have a few minutes left. People need to step away from their computers, take a break. We'll be coming back officially at 10:20 for the next round of presentations. Thank you. All right. We'll give a couple more seconds to let people come back to their computer screens. All right, so let's convene again for the second round of presentations. Let me share my screen. Let's see. All right, we are now in round two, and this is the order of the presentations. First, Venezuela, then Russia, Ukraine, then South Sudan, then the USA team, then Turkey, and then Kenya. So without further ado, let's hear from the Venezuela team.
Hello, everybody. We actually did a song. Our team wrote a song and a poem, and Miss Arsu is going to be helping us to share the screen.
Peace Education, Action for Impact. Venezuela, one of 12 teams. Escucha Arte, the project supreme. Ask youth their thoughts so they learn to act for peace where they live, to listen with tact. Build a culture of peace, survey to start. 10 youth, 4 adults faced obstacles with heart. 14 weeks they toiled and wrote, consulted with others, peace to promote. They shared, they learned, and now they show you their art.
Nos pusimos a pensar, jóvenes venezolanos, y algunos mis ancianos no tenían por dónde hablar. Comunidades cambiar con excelentes ideas, querían sin herramientas, ya que escuchar es un arte brillante, eso es escucharte. Conversemos lo que piensas. Este team venezolano, escucharte se propone la promoción en los jóvenes de actitud y liderazgo, resolviendo y mediando temas en comunidades, demostrando habilidades para la escucha activa, con actitud comprensiva frente a las adversidades. Nos juntamos y esta vez 5 jóvenes seremos los promotores de paz por venezolanos, generando los espacios y tomando iniciativas de manera inclusiva para resolver conflictos con diseños creativos y con mucha escucha activa. Con vaivenes anduvimos por este lindo camino, sin apuro y continuo, entre reuniones nos vimos. Por Zoom, por WhatsApp y en vivo, condominios respondían, encuestas que entretejían. Anhelos de escucha activa, la respuesta nos motiva, pues las metas se cumplían.
¿Y cuál organización sería la más conveniente? 20 años con la gente, mi condominio.com. Está ahí al pie del cañón, con Rotaract Venezuela, que es una grandiosa escuela, con una red propagando, los aliados aportando, y así este proyecto vuela.
The grand finale is coming. We are all glowing. After weeks of hard work that's finally paying off, we can say we did it from the bottom of our lungs. Susan and Marieta kept us together. With the help of Ivan, they will lead the team forever.
Annie gave us opportunities and asked for opinions, while Maga wrote every step we took, even when they were millions. Zita, with enthusiasm, helped Romy with the questions that we had to make to find the opinions of the youth in question. Mar, just like the ocean, made us flow with ease on this trip that we called peace. Jose and myself, willing to help and doing their best at contacting and talking, oh how wonderfully they were calling.
But no one of these could be true, not even our youth. without the help of you. World Beyond World, Rotary International, and District 5160, who believe in 10 young Venezuelans that wanted to listen to the sound of the heart, that were not being listened to. They, just like us, are as important as the rest of the youth across the ocean.
We might have had some trouble with time and presence, but we were for our youth that live under pressure. We listened, and we thought we created, and we fought for what we think is our right to listen and be listened to.
Yay, thank you so much. I feel like I'm traveling the world just by sitting here on my seat on Zoom, and I think I can speak for all of us that this is just an amazing program to hear from all of these different cultures and perspectives. So thank you. Let's go to the combined Russia-Ukraine team next.
Hello, my name is Oля. I'm from Russia and Ukraine teams. I'm glad to show our project. And our project was needed because topic of peace was never presented in our schools. We study was, but not cases when people came to peaceful resolutions. Unfortunately, young people in schools experience bullying. Our project is consists of some steps. It's asked to fill questionnaire first, conduct training, and enlighten the next topic. Topics is conflictology, inner peace, positive and negative peace, and active listening, and asked to fill questionnaire second. The project aimed to achieve to give young people idea that there are ways to resolve conflicts, give basic knowledge about conflicts, how to resolve them peacefully, help them to find gaps in their knowledge of conflictology and fill them up. And to engage more people, we have included role game in our training. It engaged people in the conflict resolution process. We have a question in the questionnaire. Do you want to make a peace building project in your school?
Hello everyone, big greetings to all of you. I'm Aliona and I represent the Ukrainian Russian team. I will tell you a little about our trainings. The work was made by two countries. The young people really like it all. It was interesting experience to make these trainings and we are really grateful to have opportunity. Children are very interested in conduct peace building projects, and now we will share with you a short video from our trainings.
Is someone going to screen share the video? There we go. Perfect.
Sorry, can you see my screen? I'm just not sure if I'm sharing or not.
Yes, we see the Rotary logo.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. So I'll start the video again.
I'm still just seeing the Rotary logo.
Oops, so sorry.
Rotary
I thought I'm. Okay, let me stop sharing and start sharing again.
No worries. This is a very challenging meeting, and the sharing, stop sharing, stop sharing. We are very used to this at World Beyond War and know that it's tricky.
Okay, right now, can you see something else?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just, yeah. Okay, let's start again. Is it moving now?
Yep, it's moving. I don't hear any audio yet.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
it's amazing
Natalia.
to, oh.
I was just going to say, Natalia, we could not hear anything then on the video, but I think we got a good sense of the project in terms of the 4 parts and some pictures.
Sorry, no, there was no audio in video. So we just want to share with you some short excursion of trainings we have in both countries.
Wonderful. And yeah, it's amazing that all this is happening during a pandemic. To see those photos with the masks and to realize despite all that, you were able to go into the schools and do this programming is really amazing. So thank you.
Yes, it was really inspiring experience, and both everyone in the team really liked it.
We should also break out that you had to get up very early.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't.
You're breaking up a little, Alison.
Let's move on, I think, Greta.
Okay, thank you. So let's go to the South Sudan team next.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Greta, and thank you, everybody. So my name's Samuel Biur. I'm going to be taking you guys through the projects that we did as the South Sudan country team. I apologize, most of our team members are not on. We have network connection issues, and we are from various different countries in East Africa, both in South Sudan and in Kenya, mainly in East Africa, in Kenya mainly. So our peace project was mainly targeting the youths, and that are the active community youth leaders. I'm just going to share my screen here a bit. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you for that. This is just an infographic of the peace project that we did, condensed format for it. You'll be able to get it later on. It had already been shared. So the title of what we did was Defrosting the Frozen Lives, and it's all about empowering the youth leaders, active youth leaders within the communities with peace skills and leadership skills so that they can become better peace agent and they can become better community youth leaders. Now, what we actually saw was that we were unable to carry out the project in South Sudan directly due to the political situation on the ground currently, and that did not facilitate our South Sudan country team on the ground to be able to initiate anything. So the other alternative that we saw was that there is a need for the youth leaders who are actually refugees or urban refugees in Kenya to be given peace skills, because currently within the South Sudanese urban refugees communities in Kenya, there's a great need for the youths to be empowered with peace skills, for them to be better youth and community leaders. So we saw that as a niche that we could be able to come and move in and be able to at least impart them with some peace training skills. So how we did that, It was a two-way program. We did it online and offline, and it was a hybrid case. It was a community engagement and community empowerment project. So the main issue we saw is that there's a great need within the urban South Sudanese refugees, because there are two kinds of refugees within Kenya, the urban one and the camped one. The camped ones are the ones which are usually found within refugee camps, but the urban refugees are the ones that are just spread out within the urban centers. And these ones are usually left to their own devices. So you find that the youth within the urban centers rarely lack opportunities for them to be engaged by the authorities that are within the urban centers. And as a result, they tend to be left to their own devices. So most of these youths tend to be frustrated. They don't relate well with the communities and the societies that they are within. So you find that there's a lot of maladjustment within these youth leaders and within these youths. So they tend to have anger and frustration, and coming from a war-torn country, it also weighs heavily on them. So they do need the skills, peace skills, for them to be able to interact with themselves and within the host communities. So what we did was to identify the youth leaders who are within the communities, have a workshop training with them that imparted these skills on them, and also on how to be able to relate, to be able to at least try and see the opportunities that they have for them to be able to create better leadership within their communities. That's that's why we saw the need for this project. Now, what did we do? What we did was that we came to where these youth leaders mainly are within their communities, sat down with them, asked them what the skills that they actually needed for them to be better youth leaders and for them to be able to better interact within their communities. We got their views, and we tend to found the skills that they needed most was on how they wanted to relate with their own communities as youth leaders, and also with the host communities that they had. So we talked with a few speakers that we saw, motivational speakers, leadership skill leaders, and we brought them on board so that we have some kind of a training workshop with these youth. And we let the program actually be controlled and be led by the youth leaders themselves, rather than as the country team project members. So it was actually the youths themselves who came together, identified the needs that they have, that they need within the community for them to be effective leaders. And then now we brought in the trainers, and we also came in as trainers to impart the skills that they can be able to use and become better community leaders. So how we did it was holding a one-day workshop that had various speakers with various skills from them. We also had people like Phil, who gave their speeches online, and also John, who was also one of our country mentors. So where did we do that? We did it in Kapsoya, at a place known as Lighthouse Church. That's more of like a community center where most of the South Sudanese urban refugees reside. And it was a whole day program starting from 9 to around 5 p.m. And that was in Eldoret. It's one of the urban centers that's highly populated with South Sudanese refugees. So when did we do that? We did it on the 4th of December, 2020. The beneficiaries that we had within this project were the main youth leaders themselves. And also to have the aspects of intergenerational, we also brought in the elders and the community, the church leaders and the religious leaders that were actually there. So we had a good turnout, had around 81 youth participants and 5 community adults who also came in. The host communities also had a presence there, and we also tend to engage with them. So it was a whole collective program that did a whole of good to the communities. So the project also had a wide presentation on the media. We managed to get 2 media publications. As you can be able to see here, these are one of the South Sudanese blogs. So it was covered. The project that was done was highly covered, and the results were shared. So that's also something that we were proud of, having been able to do that within a very short period of time. So I won't talk much. I would like to give the remaining few minutes to one of my colleagues who's here, Brother Gabriel Dak, to be able to say a few words regarding the project that we did. So thank you for the time, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Brother Bior. Yeah, as far as the project is concerned, I think that's the much detail that has been given our mentor, Bior. I was working there as their coordinator, the country coordinator, and this project was only possible through partnership. And I would love to welcome the great support from the Rotaract Kenya Peace, and the chairperson is here within, yeah, he's part of us. So Brother Oscar, say hello and a word.
Thank you very much, Brother Gabriel. It's an honor to have received the invitation to join the meeting, and I'm glad that what Brother Bior has shared to our viewers today is what was captured, and we're glad to have had the opportunity to come on board and participate in the workshop with you guys. Thank you to World Beyond War again for the opportunity.
Lovely, thank you. And finally, over to our senior coordinator, Dr. John.
I just want to add my congratulations to a team that under great difficulty and with many obstacles was able in a very short period of time, not to only listen to a community, but to respond to their needs, to put on a fantastic program, and then to get media coverage for it all in this short period of time. Glad to be with you, brothers. And the rest of this incredible worldwide team. It gives me great hope for the future.
Wow, thank you so much, South Sudan. Just inspirational, and yeah, amazing to see that media coverage as well. We'll definitely have to share that if we haven't already, and I love the photos too. So let's move quickly to the USA team next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jackie Howard, and on behalf of the USA team, we wish to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this pilot project. The team created and implemented 2 projects, one involving dialogue and one involving music. The Community Education and Dialogue Project engaged community members in screenings and discussions surrounding a short documentary that depicted Americans with opposing viewpoints, confronting their disagreements, introducing them to new dialogue skills, and discovering humanity behind each other's positions. Through this structured process, participants gained hope and insight for overcoming the US political divides. The structured process planted what we call seeds of peace, and that created an environment of civil dialogue was possible. I'm now going to turn it over to Brittany Woodrum, who will present the Peace Accords album project.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jackie, and thank you, everyone, for coming today. My name is Brittany Woodrum. I represent part of the USA team, and as part of our project, I think one of the biggest things that we took away from the Peace Education and Action course was just that peace itself is a process, and it's not just a lesson that you can learn once and then you're a master of it. You have to repeatedly re-engage with these lessons. And we as a group were wondering, like, well, what is a way that we can present these topics in a fun, easily digestible way that people will not want to engage with once, but many times or multiple times throughout their lives. And so as passionate musicians, we all came up with the idea to create a peace album. So we titled it The Peace Accords, kind of a fun pun there. We spell it ACHORDS. And basically what that album is a 6-song album. Each of us actually composed and created 2 songs each. And each song actually touches on various topics that we learned throughout the modules, from kind of positive peace versus negative peace, the war system, demilitarization, as well as how to be at peace with oneself and others. So it's a very abstract, I would say, and unique piece. We have things from taking speeches and putting them to music to having like meditation music. We also interviewed individuals on what their definition of peace was, which I believe you'll actually hear later in the program. So how we went about kind of disseminating that and getting feedback was at the end of November, we published the album and we sent it to about 20 individuals around the world of all varying ages. And we asked for them to listen to it and then attend some feedback sessions, as well as fill out a survey. And I'm happy to say, while there's definitely room for improvement, overall, we heard that 100% of our participants came away with a piqued or heightened interest in learning about peace studies and about the peace versus war system and about becoming peace builders. So that was ultimately our goal. I think this is just the start. It definitely proved that music can be a great medium for sharing peace building strategies and for garnering interest in this topic. But that's pretty much all for me. I'll send it back to you, Jackie, or to Greta, if anyone has any questions.
I'll just go ahead and turn it back to Greta. Okay.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Brittany. And we will hear one of the songs from the album at our next break. So let's go next to the Turkey team.
Oh, hello, this is Arzu from Turkey team. I'm the coordinator. I should tell our gratitude to be part of this project. We are different now. In 3 months, we look the world differently. We thank you. In our project, we collaborated with Dr. Vicky Radel. We thank you, her, and we have some of our facilitators in this panel, in this session. We also thank to them. We have prepared a short video outlining our project. And after the video, our youth team, Tuğçe, Burak, and Deniz will explain you the project. Thank you. Now, please, the video.
Must come together as one. There are people dying. It's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that's one. Somewhere we'll soon make a change. We're all a part of God's great big family, and the truth is love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
Hi, everyone. This is Tuğçe. I'll take the lead on this presentation, and then Burak and Deniz will come to finalize the rest of it. So essentially with this project, what we tried to address was the lack of a clear understanding of peace culture and the frequent issues on diversity, equity, and inclusion in Turkey. And the way we decided to address that problem was to raise awareness on peace culture and DEI through the language of peace.
So in order to do that, we had the education on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which involved 8 Rotary clubs and a total of 150 participants with 30 facilitators. We had 4 meetings with 42 breakout rooms, a total of 8 hours. The 4 meetings were the overview of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, 2 language of peace parts, and supportive Rotarian bystander behavior. For each meeting, we had 3 points of discussion, a total of 12. And we went to breakout rooms discussing these points with the facilitators, and we had, I think, more than 15 reports with the intent of making them into a finalized evaluation.
And these reports help us to actually get through the results, which kind of results, the interactive communications throughout the breakout rooms. And hopefully we will be evaluating these reports in 8 weeks period. And this will help us to create a guide on how to achieve positive peace 101. But these discussions are important because we could say that 150 people reach to that this for coherent trainings, and we could raise awareness on peace, culture, and language of peace. Hopefully, the guide on peace, positive peace 101 will be another achievement of the project. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. It's amazing to see how each team interpreted the 3 strategies of the AGSS in such different ways. And last but not least, let's go to the Kenya team. Kenya, you can now unmute.
So I know John was having tech issues from the Kenya team and had to drop off. Is there someone else from the Kenya team who might be able to speak instead?
Rotaract Kenya, can you hear us?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Phil. Unfortunately, I don't have the contents to what Kenya team were to present because we were together with 64 voices earlier on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that was that Kenya as part of the South Sudan project. Okay, well, I think we might have to work off the assumption that John and the Kenya team are not here to present on behalf of the Kenya team. I think so, if that's the case, unless we hear otherwise. I haven't heard any otherwise on WhatsApp or email, etc. So I would suggest moving on, Greta.
Okay, well, we will be putting together the website afterwards to share all of the projects, so we can definitely publicize what they did through that. So we actually have another 5-minute break just to stretch again and take a break from the screen. So I will share my screen again to show you that we will be now hearing one of the songs from the USA team. This is the album cover, The Peace Accords. So we will now be able to hear one of those songs of this amazing album that kind of really breathes life into the online course and this project. And you'll see throughout the album that they try to touch on each module. So I will turn it over to Rachel to share the song. awesome. I love that one. So that was number 4, cultural composition. And I'll just read briefly. So accompanying the album is a PDF that explains each song. So this original song represents peace with others. Musical instruments from different parts of the world are incorporated into the composition. The purpose of the song is to illustrate the possibility of peace, despite and as a result of our differences. The best music among musicians comes from certain characteristics that have a lot of parallels with our daily lives, such as peaceful ways to live. And there's much more within the PDF, but that gives you a sampling of the song and its purpose. So we can just take a break for about 1 more minute. And at the top of the hour, we'll kick off with the final speakers. And the last batch of speakers to kind of close us out for today is a sampling of speakers from the global team representing different perspectives, including from the youth perspective, from the coordinators and the mentors, to provide some overall reflections on the projects. Okay, so here's our next round of speakers. First, we will hear from Jackie Howard, District Governor from 2020 to 2021 of District 6080 in the US, who will give some general reflections on the peace projects. Then we will hear from Tijana Ristic from the Serbian team, who will share perspectives from the youth perspective of being part of this project, and especially the process of being part of the part 2, the peace project aspect. And then we will hear again from Bior from the South Sudan team, who will share from the perspective of being on the coordinator mentor side throughout this whole process. And then finally, we will go to Crystal Wong, who has been interning with World Beyond War and the Peace Education and Action for Impact project, who will talk about some next steps in terms of getting your certificates and what the next step is in this long process. So I will come off screen share and we'll go to Jackie to give some general reflections.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say that on behalf of the global team, we wish to congratulate you and your teams on your hard work throughout all phases of the program. You applied the information that you learned by creating and implementing meaningful projects that addressed urgent community needs. As you could see, each of the projects were individually very unique, they were relevant, and they were all outcome driven. And all your projects met the criteria for the PEAFI projects. This included what's called the 3 golden rules for peace projects. And you know what they were. The project is done with or by the community, not about or for them. 2, the project is led by young people in collaboration with others. 3, the project addressed one or more of the strategies of the AGSS. So I would just like to thank you all for joining in this marvelous experiment. I believe that as peer leaders, mentors, and coordinators, we've all benefited mutually, and we've learned a great deal from one another. You've given us hope for the present and for the future, and we hope that you will maintain the connections that you've developed and continue to make a positive impact in the world. Bravo.
Thanks so much, Jackie. All right, Tijana. Tijana will be sharing from the youth perspective, participating in part 2.
Thank you, Greta. Firstly, I would like to thank Alison Sutherland for introducing me to Phil Giddings, then to Phil and the whole global team for coming up with a program like this. I am so happy Serbia had the opportunity to be part of this team. As Greta mentioned, I will be sharing some reflections on the second phase and part of the program, which are our peace projects. So we had to implement knowledge we gained in part 1, especially from modules 5 and 6. And as most of you know, putting theory into practice can be really challenging and sometimes really difficult. But in this whole process, we weren't alone. We had an amazing support, and I'm sure I'm talking on behalf of every single youth participant in this program. We had amazing collaboration with our mentors and coordinators. Serbian team, for example, had 2 very, very experienced Rotarians, Mr. Thomas Carlisi, who is peace chair in his district, and also member of the education committee in Rotary Action Group for Peace, and Serbian chair of the Serbian chapter in Rotary Action Group for Peace, Alison Sutherland. So their experience, their guidance, their support, putting us back on the track when we get lost, that was very, very valuable. And I think, especially for the beginners, for people who are just entering the area of peace building, this was really important to have someone experienced guiding them, supporting them, and sharing their experience. That was really, really valuable. I think it was amazing. I know Phil planned to have 10 country project teams. It was amazing having 12 actually. And I think this is another really special thing about the whole program. So we heard 12 presentations, actually 11, right? This gives us opportunity, as Phil would say, to put on a different pair of lenses and see how people are approaching issues in their own communities around the world. So, for example, maybe we in Serbia are facing some of the same issues, but would approach them completely differently. So this was a wholesome, amazing experience, and the diversity of people and projects is amazing. So thank you once again. And I wrote down a couple of words that came up in the Mentimeter when we were asked what are the experiences with peace projects. So we had something like inspiring, exciting, reflective, eye-opening. And I think if I'm pronouncing that, Maga, she wrote down in the chat box, it was a beautiful risk. So I think she formulated that really nicely. So thank you, everyone. That will be it for me.
Thanks. All right, let's go to Bior from the South Sudan team, who will share from the perspective of the coordinators and mentors. And a big thank you to all of the coordinators and mentors who have been involved in this process along the way as well. Bior.
Thank you. Thank you all. And I'm also delighted to be given this chance to speak on behalf of the coordinators and the mentors. And it was quite an experience being one of the country team coordinators. And I do know that speaking on behalf of the rest of the coordinators and the mentors, it was quite a challenging experience, also a huge learning experience as well. So I'll not talk much about the experiences that we had, because there was a diverse and a huge amount of experiences that were out there. But the main works that the coordinators and the mentors did with the teams was that they kind of like more acted as the mentors and kind of like the glue that brought the whole thing together. So the main thing that the coordinators did were responsible for organizing the team members, keeping the students in check without interrupting on what the students did, because the whole idea was to work around the students. So the students were the ones generating the ideas, bringing the information, but now the coordinators kind of like just glued them together, made this come together, showed them what is expected of them from the course program without interfering with the ideas and without interfering with the directions that the students wanted to take regarding these projects and the works within the communities. Now, the mentors were actually more they were actually more experienced with peace building skills and peace building experiences that were there. And they brought this peace building experience into the teams in that, so that they give kind of like a perspective from people who have already had some experience within the peace work and how you can be able to work within the communities. So the main work that was actually being done was by the students and for the communities, with the communities themselves. So the mentors and the coordinators just nudge them a bit, guiding them through the whole way and kind of like showing them. So the main thing that the coordinators and the mentors got out of there was an experience to work with the students, see their fresh new ideas, and just guide them through what it is that is required of them from the coursework. So I'd be able to say that from the coordinators and the mentors' point of view, it was quite exciting to be able to link students with different country groups, learn from other various countries on what they're doing, the experiences on the ground, like we have already seen the diverse programs that are being done globally, the experiences that the people are bringing through. That was an eye-opening to all coordinators and to all mentors. And on behalf of all coordinators and all country mentors, I'd like to say thank you, big shout thank you to World Beyond War and Rotary Club and Mr. Phil, whom I think never slept for the last 2-3 months, and the whole World Beyond War teams. So thank you guys, and thank you a lot.
Thanks, Bior. Okay, Phil and Crystal, I'll let you take it from here to guide us through these next steps.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And do I look that bad, Bior? I haven't slept, no. Thank you so much. It's been a massive effort on everybody's part. I'm sure many coordinators, mentors, young people have not slept because of the global team, because of all the wonderful work. A lot of the work have also been done behind the scenes as well. There's many people on the global team that have not had a shout out, but we want to say that we appreciate that and recognize that so much. And the next person is one of those. Her name is Crystal, and she's going to introduce herself shortly, and she will speak about particularly 2 things: certificates, and talk about the process related to that and where we are. And then third one, a kind of a call out in terms of social media, how we can keep connected moving forward. And then after Crystal speaks, I will say a few words to kind of wrap up and some next steps, both on behalf of the Rotary Action Group for Peace and ways to keep in contact, as well as World Beyond War. So over to you, Crystal. I guess you want to go to the next slide.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you. I really appreciate the chance to share with you all about some of the next steps. So the first of the next step is the certification. As you know, the program offers 2 types of certificates. The certificate of completion, which will be offered to participants who successfully completed part 1, and the certified peace builder awarded to those who work collaboratively to carry out peace projects in part 2. So let's go to the next slide for the detailed requirements of the 2 parts. To receive the first certificate, participants are required to complete all 6 optional weekly assignments and participate in 1 or more of the optional Zoom calls to receive a certificate of completion. To become a certified peace builder, it is required to have worked individually and collectively as a team to undertake and produce an account of the peace projects. Participation in weekly check-ins with country teams, as well as 2 or more of the reflection groups, is also required for the certification. Also, please kindly note that we have extended the deadline to mid-January to complete the assignments and other related tasks in order to give more opportunities to receive certificates. Next slide, please. Here we present an example of what your certificate will look like. They will be signed on behalf of World Beyond War and the Rotary Action Group for Peace. For now, we have sent out a congratulation email to the recipients of the first certificate. Please reply to this email with your preferred names and titles on the certificates if you haven't already done so. Thank you. And next slide. Another one of the important next steps will be to implement our social media strategy for this program. We would like to take this chance to call for your great support in this regard. As the pilot program is wrapped up this year, we have seen a lot of wonderful materials emerging from your work, including photos, videos, etc., from your peace projects. We would like your help to create contents for the social media postings moving forward. So we would also like to invite you to continue networking through our social media platforms, such as using our hashtags to join the virtual campaigns and more activities for peace. Moreover, the social media channels will be the space for outreach prior to the next phase of the Peace Education and Action for Impact program. The aim here is to connect with a broader range of country teams and participants from all over the world next year. That's all for my part. And now I'll pass the mic to Phil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Just before getting on to the next steps, because we're kind of in the here and now, I've been listening to some of the presentation. I wanted to provide some general thoughts as well, or some observations. Jackie did a brilliant job overall, but some of the things come out from listening to you today, and I've wrote them down as process, challenge, and communication. With regards to process, all of the 11 projects that we've heard and all of the 12 projects that we've seen in terms of the reports, in their different ways, did a great job of addressing the 4 Ps of what we see as a project process. So the problem, the purpose, the process, and the proliferation. So how we go about engaging more people. Challenges. Every single team, bar none, had challenges, whether that's internal challenges, coordinators, mentors, young people, but also external as well in terms of internet challenges. But regardless of that, the show must go on, as they say, in terms of piecework, and you found ways of adapting. All of your teams had challenges and all of your teams found ways of adapting. So thank you so much for that, particularly during COVID times, you know, how you went about adapting, and we've seen some of the great work being done in South Sudan and other places. So thank you. The other third thing I wanted to say is communication. And what I mean by that is we want to really acknowledge that this program is in English and it's not everybody's native language. So we really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and hats off to you all for doing this in what is not your native language, you know, for some. So thank you so much for that, for being patient with us, for all of us working together. Thank you so much for that. And the broad thing, although Tiana, which I'm happy with, she stole my thunder, but it's great. One of the ways of thinking about this project is, and you would have read it in module 1 and module 2 and throughout the program, a beautiful risk. This program was a beautiful risk. Peace building is a beautiful risk. What you mean by that is that you can plan, you can have a structure, you can work everything out, but it always has to be open for adapting and always a beautiful risk. You can never control it all. So we didn't know back in the day when Alison, others, and I were getting together and thinking about it, we didn't know how it was going to work out. We had a plan, we had ideas, we had hopes and fingers crossed. But I think we can say 100% that the beautiful risk has paid off today. You know, I think we can definitely say that. And it's only paid off because of all of your amazing work. You are the stars in this show, the country project teams doing the work on the ground. You are the ones doing this amazing work, and we can only do the work in collaboration with yourself. So you deserve all the credit. So I think that's another thing I wanted to say, and I'm sure Alison would support us, you know, in that as well, in terms of giving you guys all the credit. So thank you for that. Moving forward now, we want to say out loud some kind of next steps in terms of how do we keep in collaboration, you know, moving forward. So one of the things we want to say is that within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be in touch in terms of surveys, and Tiana touched on it, but surveys asking you to reflect on particularly part 2. Crystal, Donna, and another Will from another part of the global team, we're working on a monitoring and evaluation process to try and do a good job of reflecting on this project in terms of learnings, in terms of takeaways. So please, please, please complete the surveys. Thank you so much. And we're going to be in touch as well with regards to a focus group. We'd love to have a focus group with each country project team to really get to know how the process was for you, so that we can reflect on it all together as a global team and try and improve the process moving forward. And then we hopefully want to put together a public event. So this was more of a closed event today, just for the country project teams. But what we want to do in the future moving forward is have a public event. And what we would say is talk to everybody you can about it. Talk to other Rotarians, talk to other organizations, other people, your family members, talk to people about this, because the aim, as Alison said and others have said, is that this was a pilot, and what we see this is building on the success of year one moving forward. So watch this space in terms of the public event coming soon. Next page, please. Credit. Thank you. What we want to do is, and Crystal kind of touched on this, and David did at the beginning as well, is try and do as good a job as possible of capturing and showcasing your amazing work. It's amazing work, and we see that we have a broader goal. If you look over to the right-hand side there, Greta and Rachel work a lot on this in terms of our World Beyond War chapters, but we envision having something on the website where you can click on the map and let's go and have a look what Turkey did. Let's go and have a look what Serbia did, what South Sudan did. So you would click on the map and you would say, oh, look, there's the South Sudan team with Gabrielle, with Bjor and others, so Wati and others from the South Sudan. Let's find out a little bit about South Sudan. Let's find out what they did in terms of their projects, okay? That's our broader goal, which we're hoping for June. This website and everything else would be linked to all of our country partners, including Rotary Action for Peace, including others that want to link it to their organizational websites. But before that, we see two phases. One is that we want to turn your reports into kind of a short overview that we can get out there on, as Crystal was talking about, on our social medias and share with RAG and other things, and put it in, as Alison spoke about, in the newsletter, etc., which I'm going to say something about shortly. And then we're going to be in contact with you throughout January and February in terms of turning the project reports into 2 or 3 page case studies. So we're going to be in touch with each of the country project teams with regards to that. So just giving you a heads up, that's part of the P part of the four Ps of where we hope to go next. Next page, please, Greta. Perfect, thank you. Oh, I've just come off the screen. Okay. Here's some things in terms of, you might be thinking, well, how can we keep in contact with the Rotary Action for Peace and World Beyond War moving forward? Well, the good news is there's loads of great ways to keep in contact with us. One is that, and actually, Alison, it might be better if I turn it over to you, because I know you've just emailed me now, but I'll turn it over to you for you to talk about Rotary Action for Peace after I spoke about. So for World Beyond War, and we've already got people as part of the youth network. So Annie is one of the co-founders. Any young people have gone through this program or otherwise can become part of the World Beyond War youth network. As going through the program and completing this course, you can become part of the alumni network as well. So there's added benefits in terms of resources, access to us in terms of helping with projects and things like this. We have, with World Beyond War, a really good track record of doing courses, and we're running 4 next year, which are 6-week courses, in addition to the Peace Education Action for Impact. And in fact, actually, for those that are in the Rotary family, all of the courses, we've invited Rotary Peace Fellows and others to kind of co-facilitate. Denise from Turkey is actually on the call. She will be facilitating the next upcoming course, which will be War and the Environment, starting in January. And then the other thing, Greta and Rachel do a wonderful session that they're doing on Saturday, 8th of January at 9 on starting a World Beyond War chapter and everything that goes with that. So there's some amazing ways to keep involved. So the original intention, I would speak for Rotary Action for Peace, but I think because you've just messaged me, Alison, you go ahead and share what you like to share.
Okay, thank you. Well, obviously, we don't want to lose contact with you. We don't want to take you away from World Beyond War, but this is a partnership. So if you belong to one, you can belong to both because we've got so much in common. So something that the Rotary Action Group has, it has peace builder clubs and those Rotary clubs. And the idea is to get them involved in peace because many Rotarians are not. Well, we also are going to have Rotaract peace builder clubs. And you're going to hear this first. I've received permission from the chair to set up Interact Peace Builder Clubs. So literally from secondary education onwards, we want Peace Builder Clubs. So you'd be invited to be part of that or to formulate one of those. You would be invited to join Rotaractors for Peace, which I told you earlier. Now, every Monday at 10 p.m. London time, which I know is not accessible for all of you, Phil and I and the core team and others have been meeting on what is called Youth Voice. We invite you to that. In the past, we've been discussing this program. It doesn't mean to say it has to stay that way. You can dictate what we do on that program. You can bring issues to that. We can have discussions or whatever. We're open to seeing where it goes because the whole key word is youth voice. I don't qualify on that one as we've worked out. So come and join us. And obviously, we'd love to involve you in anything else which is going on in the RAG. So we have chats, those chats for the chair almost every day of the week. We have a Wednesday Peace Builder Clubs. I want to invite project by project to present to those Peace Builder Clubs. I've got an idea for a Rotaract Concert for Peace fundraiser to help put money towards these projects. I'd love you to come and be part of that. We have African peace builders. In fact, there's so many possibilities, and I know you only have so much time, but be sure you're invited to participate in all of them because we want to have your ideas. We want you to spearhead stuff as well. So thanks. And you can contact Phil and I, and if you can't get me, you can get me through Phil and to get more details and to come along. And everything is open to yourselves and others. It's not about membership. It's not about Rotary or whomever. The door is open to all. Thank you, Phil.
Alison. Thank you so much. And just before heading to the photo, I really want to do a shout out and thank you to Greta and to Rachel for doing an amazing job of managing it. This has been like clockwork, people, in terms of the agenda. I can't believe how good we've kept on track in terms of keeping to track. So shout out to you, Greta, and shout out to you, Rachel, for doing an amazing job. And thank you, everyone. Let's do a nice photo, shall we? It's over to you, Greta.
Yeah, now Rachel will take the screenshot. So for people who want to be in the photo, you can keep your video on and Rachel will snap the shots.
So I'll just wait a minute for everyone to turn on their video. Of course, if you don't want to, that's okay, but it will be really nice to have as many actual faces as possible. And I'm gonna count to 10. And while I'm counting, I'm gonna keep taking photos throughout it. There's so many of us here, so it's gonna take a little while. So the whole time I'm counting, I'm taking photos. You're welcome to just smile. You're welcome to put up a peace sign or the solidarity fist or whatever you would like to do. I'm just gonna stall another second because I still see people are still turning on their cameras and taking a second to do that. All right, I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna start taking photos now. So let's get those peace signs or fists or whatever you'd like up in the air. All right, keep going. Thank you. I'm gonna keep taking some photos. All right, that's awesome. I've got everyone now. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks. And yeah, we're 3 minutes ahead of schedule. So yeah, there is no more scheduled time for this session. You are totally welcome to get off Zoom if you're feeling Zoom fatigued. But if you do want to stay on, the next 30 minutes is just unstructured time for people to just unmute and share and network and talk to each other. So we'll just give a few minutes for people to kind of get off if they want to get off. So we'll just have a few minutes and then officially start at 11:30 with the networking.
If people are going, all the best for the festive period, all the best for New Year, and yeah, let's stay in contact and see you next year if you're going now. If you're staying, great. But thank you for being with us.
Dr. Phil, you've been wonderful. I haven't always been there. I wish I could join every meeting. I haven't always been there because of clash of schedules, but I mean, you've just been amazing. And I want to thank you for the leadership, and you're always, you know, following up with mails. I received your mail this afternoon too, and I appreciate that. I mean, you're wonderful. And I look forward to future events like this, and I'm sure if opportunity provides, I'll be more engaged all the time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for always being in contact via emails. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, if you want the RAG newsletter, either email me or give me your contacts.
Alison, they should follow our social media. They can find
go
us
on then. Go on. You're the
media.
social media queen, you and Annie. Over to you. Yes, they need to
I will
follow
put
us.
them down. So I will put the links in the chat box for RAG's social media. So follow us. You can find a lot about peace education and action for impact over there as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So we still have about 33 people on the call. So I think with a group this size, I would like to do breakout rooms to make the conversation a little bit manageable for people who want to network. So I'm going to open up breakout rooms and we'll do, let's say 3 breakout rooms. And this will just be totally random. So I'll open that up now. And if you want to stay on and network, you can join a room.